Welcome, everyone, to our LifeVantage overview. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to learn more about the power of activation and the story behind these extraordinary products and this amazing activation company called LifeVantage. I hope you can set aside all your distractions for about 25-30 minutes and focus on you and your health because you know that you deserve it. And just know that whoever invited you to this presentation truly cares about you and cares about your health. My name is Jane Buchanan, and I have the pleasure to introduce to you tonight our presenter, Fred Hodgins. Now, Fred has been married to his wife, Shirley, for 40 years. They've faced many challenges while starting their family, experiencing six pregnancies and the heartbreaking loss of two sons at birth, 4 years apart. However, they now have two wonderful adult married daughters, and they are proud grandparents of 7 beautiful grandchildren. Now, Fred grew up in the construction family in the town of Southern Ontario that thrived on oil and gas. He began his career as a tank car loader in the major refinery, and he worked his way up to become the industrial electrician. In the 90s, Fred ventured into networking industry, and he had varying degrees of success in different companies. It was during this time that a friend introduced him to the ABC Primetime Investigation report about LifeVantage, and that opportunity resonated with Fred, and he saw great potential in it. Within a year, he made the decision to retire his job at the refinery, where he had dedicated 32 years of his life, even though his pension was less than $6,000 per year. Now Fred has the freedom to spend time with his family, especially his beloved grandchildren. They reside on a 100-acre homestead and are currently in the process of building their dream home. So please help me give a warm welcome to Fred Hodgins.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jane. Can everybody hear me? And I guess see my screen. I went straight to the. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm not the most technical guy, even though I worked as an industrial electrician, and I just wanted to get this part. So if you could see my little picture in the little corner there, that's the Blue Water Bridge behind me. And so Michigan is on one side and Ontario is the other. We live right at the mouth of Lake Huron, is the the biggest water body in the world is right where we live. But in Southern Ontario, and the earlier call, I think the Christy Voigt was from San Diego, and so a little bit different weather here, but we love it, even though it's cold, and our farm. So congratulations to everybody for being on this call, spending a Thursday night about a half hour with us. And for people that are here the first time, I truly hope that this adds value to you, or at least I share some information that gets you to think, right? Think, what if this is true? And it's a huge honor for me as an introvert and just a, construction guy, started out loading tank cars. So I'm not the biochemist or Christy Voigt that was the medical esthetician earlier. I'm just a blue collar guy. My granddaughter, who's 9 years old, said, "Grandpa, can I give you some advice for your Zoom tonight?" And I said, "Sure." And she said, "Try not to say so much." So I'll do my best, but public speaking, but being a blue collar guy, I just want to connect. As Jane mentioned, been married for 40 years. This is a picture of my wife and I, fairly recent picture. And when my first daughter was born, I knew I didn't want to work shift work for the rest of my life. I took an extra course in instrumentation and eventually became an electrician. It was a good career in this area, and working for the major oil refineries, you can do pretty well as a blue collar guy. As she mentioned, we had a tough time having a family, but our two daughters give us this crew right here. And who'd have thought we'd have 7 grandchildren? And family and relationships and connection is so important to me and to my wife, Shirley. And that's really what this is about. It's what LifeVantage is about. And so here, let me just go to the, and so, but when I was working, just a little bit more about that, and then we'll move in, because maybe you'll relate to this. When I was working all the time. I was up at 6 o'clock in the morning and off to work. I put fire retardant clothes on. I couldn't go into the work area without being dressed, and it wouldn't matter if it was 95 degrees in the summertime. You had long sleeve coveralls on that fire retardant, or if it was, freezing cold like now. But I was on call all the time, and didn't get to spend time with our girls as much as I wanted to. When I was first shown this industry, I saw people having success, and I thought, wow, what if it's true? What if a blue collar guy could do this? And so at LifeVantage, we have just a slogan, take it. So take these products. I'm going to describe them a little bit today, feel it, and share it, right? That is the LifeVantage way. It's an activated life. I'm going to put my hand here to hit the button on my keyboard. So look your best, feel your best, be your best, have fun, make money, but make money making a difference. And what a great way to make a living, helping people. And so this all started for us and for a lot of people when I saw this ABC News report. I was actually out in the barn, and a fellow I knew, a friend of mine, called me and said, "Are you in front of the computer?" And I wasn't. I was in the barn, and he just piqued my interest. So I went in and watched this ABC News report. If you haven't seen it, or if it's been a while since you've seen it, find a copy of it and go watch it. Because when I saw this, and fortunately, I knew about the website, the National Library of Medicine. I'll come to that in a moment. But you see this slide here, without protandim, this is just the normal way which we age, right? So oxidative stress builds up. And after protandim, this is the line, right? So they couldn't tell the difference in the first study that's published and peer reviewed, that they couldn't tell the difference between a 78-year-old and a 20-year-old. Well, you don't have to be a biochemist to know that. Well, I want that, right? At the time, they didn't know exactly how it worked, but they knew that it worked. And so oxidative stress is linked to, and on PubMed, I learned this. So oxidative stress is linked to all the things in this circle here. When I first saw this, I went to the PubMed.gov, the U.S. National Library of Medicine. You can see it on the screen there. Now with oxidative stress, there's over 320,000 studies. And I just typed in, for me, it was 112,000 when I saw this. And I was kind of blown away, to be honest. And then I typed in oxidative stress and inflammation, right? I didn't look at any diseases. I looked at inflammation. And I forget, it was something like 15,000 studies. It's over 30,000 studies now. And again, you don't have to be a biochemist. At least I don't think so. You can be a blue collar guy to realize, I don't want that. I want this. And for me, it was prevention. When my wife walked in and said, "What are you looking at?" And I said, I did the best thing I could do. And I just played the ABC News report. And she says, "Is this true?" And I said, "Yeah, there's all these studies showed her that." And she said, "Who told you?" And I told her who told me. And she says, "Is there an opportunity here?" And I said, "I think so." So a few weeks later, I flew to San Antonio, where we had one of our bigger meetings, and I got to see the bigger picture. I saw the company, the people behind it. I saw the other distributors, and just the environment, the unity of the environment. Like tonight on this call, this is a group called We're Not All on the Same Team. And so what is oxidative stress and why do we have it? Well, since all of us have been born, there isn't a person on the planet that first square doesn't apply to. Over 80,000 new chemicals since the Industrial Revolution. Well, that's well over 100 years ago, the Industrial Revolution. 120 years ago it started. But I'm a farmer, so herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, a bad diet, and this could just say diet, because it's hard to eat perfect. I would say it's impossible The food that we eat today is not the same thing that our great-grandparents ate, the vegetables, the nutrition that's in it. And part of it is the way crops are grown, and they only fertilize for 3 things. They don't fertilize for everything, just 3 things. And so our corn or spinach looks like corn and spinach, but it's not the same thing that it was back for our great-grandparents. And air pollution, 5G, EMFs, poor sleep. We're living higher stress lives than probably we have in many decades. And so poor sleep. And another thing what causes oxidative stress, I think, is the economy, right? The economy and inflation. So that's causing some stress. And so what does it feel like, right? And we look at this picture here, that it's a picture of the cell. And so that picture, the pink cell, is just a healthy cell. I think of a new baby, right? That's that cell. And as we age, that's not, again, you don't have to be a biochemist to know things change as we age. And so if you could reduce that, so in this list, no energy, brain fog, lack concentration, maybe the folks that are 30 years old here are thinking, well, that doesn't really apply to me. Well, think back to when you were 20, when you were in high school, running those relays and playing hockey. Is it different at 30? And I dare to say it is. So oxidative stress is, if you could reduce it by 40%, as our slide earlier showed, and the blood test and the peer review science. And so what is Protandim? This is our original product that launched the company. We like to say it's God's pharmacy, meaning it's plants and food, right? It's plants and trees. They're put together, these herbs that you can see the list there, at a certain ratio that it signals to what's called the NRF2 pathway. It upregulates all the good things and downregulates the bad things, right? So on the bottle of Protandim in Canada, so here in Canada, we have what's called Health Canada. And you have to sell a natural product, it has to be regulated with the government. And they have to approve what it says. And it's quite a process. And every product has an NPN number, a natural product number. So right on our bottle of Protandim, it says, and Health Canada requires LifeVantage to put this on the bottle. Protandim NRF2 activates your body's antioxidant defense mechanisms that fight free radicals. Now I'm going to repeat that. A government agency makes a company, LifeVantage, put this on the bottle. Protandim NRF2 activates your body's antioxidant defense mechanisms that fight free radicals. What that is saying, we're allowed to say and put on the bottle, is that our product is activating your body antioxidant defense mechanisms. It's upregulating the good things, downregulating the bad things. A traditional or a typical antioxidant, it's 1-to-1, right? From high school chemistry, one antioxidant would defeat one free radical. Well, this is building up our internal enzymes, and so it's 1,000,000 to 1 per second every second. And so when they first had these first couple studies, universities from around the world were interested because they didn't know how to reduce oxidative stress. Actually, they thought it was impossible. And so universities started spending tens of millions of dollars of hard-to-get research money in validating or to find out what Protandim did, because they wanted to see, they weren't doing it to validate Protandim. So I want to make that clear. They wanted to find out when they reduced oxidative stress. So American Heart Association wanted to find out what happened. They did a $3 million study. It was published in their journals called Circulation. And one of the things it says is it activates your cardioprotective enzymes. Again, coming from a blue collar standpoint, I don't know how it works, but I want my cardioprotective enzymes working. I want that for my wife. I want it for my kids, my people we care about. So we look at this, it's really unique and it's never happened before. And I doubt it'll ever happen since going forward, that a natural product will have this type of research, because there's really no money in it for these organizations. So LifeVantage, as we started to get the message out And the company started becoming successful, making money, paid off debt. We're now publicly traded. We're on the NASDAQ. I'll get to that in a minute. So they started pouring more money into research and development. They didn't sit there because scientists know that there's more pathways in our body than just the NRF1 pathway, right? Or the NRF2 pathway. There's other pathways that if we could upregulate them and to do what the body's designed to do when we were 20 or younger, well, only good things can happen. And so one of those things is collagen. I didn't know anything about collagen before, but before LifeVantage, and I didn't think it was a scam. I just didn't know anything about it. And then when LifeVantage was bringing it out, I actually got excited about it because I have trust with the company. I have trust with our executives, our doctors. I have a board of directors. I know that they're not going to bring out something, that's me too. That's just not what they're going to do. They're going to do the heavy metal testing. They're going to do all the things that that we could be proud of and stand on, right? Stand on the shoulder of great people. And so you can read the slide there on the bottom part of all the 20,000 or so different proteins in the human body. There is one that dominates more than any other. Without it, our cells would simply collapse on themselves, and that's really not something any of us want. But as we see people age, be a people observer. As we see people age, look at pictures of yourself from 10 years ago, of your parents from 10 years ago to where they are now. You say, oh, grandma, you looked so young 10 years ago, right? And things just change. So this liquid collagen, the benefits go way beyond skin deep. You can read on this. It's not just, nail health and bone health, and which is important, and skin health. Our eyes are made up of 90% collagen, right? But after 20, we start losing about 1.5% of collagen per year. So just do the math. If you wonder why people have wrinkles and are losing strength and eyesight, just look at this list. For me, it was when I turned 44 years old. I couldn't quite see as good. I couldn't read the fine print. Things just decline, and it's gradual until it's not. So at 62 years old, I've lost about 60% of the collagen until I started with LifeVantage's liquid collagen. And so this is a breakthrough. It's in small little brown bottles, one little bottle per serving. It's so that it can hold its integrity and its ingredients and its mixture all together, and so we get one daily dose. It tastes great, but why is it unique? Why is it superior to what's on the market? Because if it's not better, well, then why bother? And I think that's really LifeVantage's philosophy. So a lot of companies will replenish the collagen, and they'll maintain if it works. And so in other products, it's also where their bioavailability is like 10% of what is there. And so, but what we do is activate, just like NRF2 activation, our other activators, so causing your body to activate its own antioxidant defense mechanisms. And so the ingredients that LifeVantage chose does this, right? And so the SOD gene is an example. It's a big molecule in our system, and Protandim by itself activated, and I just going by memory, and I think it was like 40% in 30 days, or 30% in 30 days. Well, combined with our Protandim, it activates SOD 2700%, activates catalase. If you want to get into some science, just search catalase and what it's for and how important it is. What if you could more than double it? And this here slide here is a study that was done at week 0. That's the person's collagen density. At week 8, the yellow is much stronger, and you can see it's more than doubled. So the collagen density is doubled. So think of a mattress, sleeping on an old wore out, mattress in a motel room, and you just don't get a good sleep, or a nice firm mattress that fits your body. Well, that's what's happening not only for our skin, but our eyes, our bones, our muscles, our organs, for everything. So we want to rebuild our collagen. It's a liquid, it's hydrolyzed, and all those terms. I really don't know what they mean, but it works. That's all I care. And it's kind of, you think of your car, the modern car today, do we really know how it works? Right? I used to be able to fix a car when it was a carburetor, and but now if it don't start, I'm calling CAA, right? AAA. And thank goodness we drive pretty good cars now. So what's not in it? Well, that's is very important as well, right? So no sugar added, no artificial sweeteners, non-GMO, dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free. Like if you could design something, you would design it just like this. In a liquid, because it's bioavailable, it absorbs into the system, and it's not, a beef collagen, a powder collagen, which if you research that glyphosate embedded in a lot of those products, none of that's here. We test for everything. And so the study results of an 8-week clinical trial, and real quick, just collagen density increased by 100%. We saw that. That fourth one over, the catalase level increased by 200%, right? So if here's one thing about it, though. It doesn't work if you don't take it. So documentation beats conversation. Let's just move on a little quicker now. This is probably the most important part. What is happening now? These people, we know all of these people, they're just friends of ours, and so you just look at these pictures, and you can, maybe grab this presentation, go online and watch it again. But you can see around her eyes, her neck. My wife told me that's the décolleté. This is Carrie Dickey on the left. Look at the difference, and she'll even say, boy, she didn't know that before picture was that, but look at the brightness in her eyes. The woman on the right, we get accused that that's a mother-daughter photo and it's doctored. Well, it's certainly not. This is Mary, and she took her before pictures from day one and just watched the progression. And again, this is someone that we know. And it's men and women. Again, the necklines, which is very difficult to fix, right, or to change without surgery. Again, men. This on the right there. That's Mark Welsh. Just look at the eye around his eyes. I could just pause and just not say anything for these slides around these gals' eyes. Imagine how they feel now, getting up to go to work and just feeling better. When you look better, you feel better. Legs, when you start with this, for anybody that's new, just take your before pictures, because you won't go back to take them. But we know the lady there on the right there, we know who she shared that, and she took the before pictures. Thank God she did, and she shared them. Again, more legs. This is Brenda that's on the call tonight. And as a dad of daughters, right? How important is it this? So after, what all you gals do to have babies, and if my good friend Julie's on this Zoom tonight, congratulations to you. She had her first grandson today. So just a few, in the early hours this morning. And so what all you gals go through, and again, as a dad of daughters, imagine how these women feel. And it's amazing. So what you can do when you activate. The gal here on the left, look at her hairline, and hair, right? When I got started, and my mom said to me after, and this was just with Protandim, after 4 months, she says, "Are you coloring your hair?" And I said, "No." Like, no, because you're not as gray as you used to be. And so seeing the results on the outside, imagine what's happening on the inside. And again, that study. So when it's combined with Protandim, the results is just, it's amplified. It's use like a musician singing in a large auditorium. If he's just without an amplifier, it's just going a little bit. But if he's got an amplifier, it can reach the whole arena, no matter how big it is. And so LifeVantage just brought out True Science, True Renew. And they just brought this out. So our scientists that developed liquid collagen just brought out this product. It's a daily firming complex, but is a retinol replacement. And again, being a guy, I didn't know anything about this, but the women in my life tell me it's a big deal. And when I started using it, I said, this is a big deal. I could feel the difference. And our skincare line, I use the step 4 after I shave every week, every day, however often I shave. So at this point, you may be wondering, are you ready to start your own business? So let's just kind of shift directions, because if you don't have products that are unique, that that nobody else has, like, I mean, why bother, right? Like, I'll just go to the store, I'll buy products. So why would you want to have a business? Well, LifeVantage has a full product line, from activators that you see on the left to optimize our health, the ProTandem line, a product for our dogs, our man's best friend. We had great results when we got started. We had a 8-year-old Mastiff, and she was full of Arthur. I'll say it starts with Art, right? And can't say. And anyway, so within 6 weeks, the lumps were gone. We got 2.5 more years of quality life out of our dog, and it was, and that was when we saw the results of that. It was like, man, I want to get activated, and we want to activate our skin, our hair. We've got an energy, brain food, a nootropic, and so maybe you're looking for more, right? Maybe you're looking for more. When we saw this ABC News report, we were in the process of buying a franchise, and it was $400,000, and so we put $30,000 down. Now, they broke the contract. They couldn't get us the location they promised. They kept our money, and I treated LifeVantage when we got started like I spent $400,000 and mortgaged our farm on it. And I just went to work and I followed the system, right? ITT, invite people to look, use a tool, and then have someone else do the explanation. And so if you could design the perfect business, would you want it to be the opposite of this list here? Lots of employees, lots of overhead, big assets, buildings, rent, a certain location that people have to come to you, where you got to do all the call service, you and your employees. No, of course you wouldn't. You would want a business that someone else has done that with the assets part. LifeVantage is invested in that. We have no overhead, no employees. We can work from anywhere, work from a cell phone, we can just work by talking to people. Even an introvert guy like me can ask somebody to have a look. Are you open to looking? So we're publicly traded on the NASDAQ. We're debt free. We rang the bell at the NASDAQ. The bottom right picture there, that's Erin Brockovich, right? I'll say that's Erin Brockovich. Like, oh my goodness, she's on our board of directors. So our executives get to go to people like her and another woman, Cindy Latham, to ask questions, and they're there to advise and help us build the business, to build our income. And so we get paid for sharing the gift of activation with other people. So be a customer. Most people become customers. But if you see an opportunity, you want some tax advantages, you can pick a pack. You can pick a healthy glow stack. You can pick a business pack. Get back to the person that introduced you here to help you out to make the right decision for you. Until the end of February, we get this True Renew product for free. And then we just set up a subscription of the products. And what we find is we just set up a simple subscription and people start adding to it because they start believing in the company. They start believing in, they get the results, and then it just continues. And what an ideal business when that happens. Now, I'm not going to get into the comp plan. That's a conversation for another time, another video, but LifeVantage does it right. Right now, we can build our business so that when we enroll customers into our business, we can earn up to 30%, right? That is fantastic. And folks in Canada, that's rolling out for you starting February 1st. This is an income disclosure sheet that as a publicly traded company and a network marketing company, companies are supposed to show this. And we're proud to show our income disclosure sheet. It's kind of small, but what do you want? There's people that are on this call that are in the bottom part of this slide, right? My mentor, Carrie Dickey, right? She's at the bottom. So what is it you want? Do you want to get your products for free? Do you want to earn a couple $100s a month, a couple, $500, $600, $1,000? Or do you want to, just supplement your income, be able to pay off debt, be able to, buy the car that you want that's reliable? For me, when I started in this industry, I was putting my little girls in a a rusted out S10 pickup with the suicide seat sitting in it. Like, I just cringe. If my kids were driving something like that, it just ain't going to happen. They're not putting my grandkids in a vehicle like that. And so, what is it that you want out of life? Do you want to save taxes? Right? It's another thing. Owning your own business, you can save money in taxes. And up here in Canada, so we can have, well, I won't say the names of the people, but they subsidize it, same as down in the South. So take it, feel it, share it. Join the movement today. Get your questions answered. Whatever you need to do, take this seriously. Like I did when I was buying a franchise. I let that go, and it changed our lives. And within a year, I was able to write that letter to my boss, to the jet plant foreman, and to the CEO of Canada, of the Canadian operation of this international company, and saying, and it went something like this. And I put yourself in this. I should have had it out and read it exactly, but it was the start of August. My daughter lives in Alberta, which is 2,000 kilometers away, and she was coming home. And she didn't have kids yet, but she was coming home for a visit. And so my letter read something like this. Thank you for the opportunity for the 32 years. Announcing my retirement for August 9th. My daughter's coming in from Alberta, and I have no vacation left for this year. So I would like to activate it. She was coming in on the 10th, so August 9th, which is a Monday. I did that. It was to be able to retire. So what is it that you want? And that's not bully for me. An introvert and a farm boy and a blue collar guy can do this. Trust me, you can too. So share it. And if you're joining LifeVantage, just allow me to be one of the first to say congratulations on a great decision. Follow the system. You got people that care about you. So with that, back to you, Jane.